Hi, guys. Good evening. Welcome back once again to the EdWord. I'm your host, Eddie, and in tonight's video, I will be discussing what I thought of the latest and craziest episode of The Terror. I just got done watching it a few minutes ago. Wow, we got a lot to talk about. Before I get started, of course, and I keep talking too much and too long, please be warned that this is a spoiler-filled episode review. Again, this is a spoiler-filled review. If you're not caught up on The Terror by this episode or the past couple episodes, do not keep watching or listening, as I will be going into spoilers. So, you have been warned. Spoilers from here on out starting now. Chaos incarnate. That is exactly what this episode was. You know, it was moving along in an interesting direction because it had a lot of great tension building up to what we thought was going to be this climactic moment where it was going to be like this standoff between men loyal to Crozier and then all of the men loyal to Hickey. And instead of a standoff, we got a surprise monster attack in the fog, and it was just chaos and craziness everywhere. You know, I was really hoping that Hickey was going to bite it. You know, he's become a real prick, and I can't stand him now. So I was really happy to see that they had taken him into custody with no problem, and I thought, oh, good, they're going to hang him now. And now Crozier has this awesome speech prepared where he tells all his men, oh, by the way, this fucker lied to you about everything, and there is no attack coming. And here's the seal meat to prove it. And then, of course, in turn, Hickey tries to throw Crozier under the bus about his original plan from a few episodes ago about how he originally wanted to abandon the ship and everything like that. But his argument, I feel like Hickey's argument was significantly weaker than Crozier's argument about Hickey. You know, I think it's pretty easy to see which of the two men is the real slime bag here. I also love that Crozier and Mr. Blanky Mr. Sorry, sounds funny when I say it, but the scout Thomas were both extremely suspicious of the circumstances of the death of their two men and all of the Eskimo people as well. And I loved how they immediately suspected Hickey. And this just goes to show you that these guys aren't the stupid sailors we think them to be. Like, they're smart and they're observant, and they clearly can read their men very well. And I loved how Crozier had his gotcha moment with Hickey, not with capturing him, but with giving that speech revealing what kind of creature he really is. And Hickey trying to do it, you know, was his pathetic attempt to try to make the captain look bad. But I think most of the men at that point had turned on Hickey. In fact, those who remained loyal to him were the very few at best, the few who got away. Because most of the men were being busy being chased around and gored and eaten by Toonbach, who made his reappearance after being absent for a few episodes. Toonbach finally made his way back, and he brought a lot of carnage with him, as expected, of course. You know, this episode was so good because there's so much tension in between characters and a lot of shady goings on here and there between our good guys and our bad guys, and you're just not certain how it's going to pan out. And for a while there, I really thought we were going to see a really great hanging. I was like, goodbye, good riddance to Hickey. But unfortunately, Toonbach kind of ruined the experience for everyone, and now they've lost a significant number of their men, and Hickey and most of his guys have gotten away. They've stolen one of the boats, they've stolen a handful of supplies, and they have gotten away. But, you know, at least Lady Silence wasn't there. You know, they made a very wise decision with letting her go back to her people, especially when they learned that their men were arming themselves, so that was very smart. I also loved Crozier's line about, you've taken an imaginary invasion and given them a very real invasion within, or something like that, referring to the potential mutiny that was about to happen. And if they hadn't calmed the matter when they did, there probably would have been a violent uprising within the ranks. But instead of a violent uprising, we got a monster attack, which I am not complaining about, because I was actually hoping to see a scene like this in this show, because we've seen Toonbach make sneak attacks before on the men, but never this many men. I mean, it's easier. They're out in the open. They're more vulnerable and scattered. And and there's the cover of fog as well, so that was a huge advantage to the creature. So that was pretty exciting. I mean, horrible for our characters, but very exciting for us as the viewers to see this monster attack happen on screen right in front of us under the cover of fog, and he's just ripping guys apart left and right. And not too surprised that the crazy guy who was laughing around heckling like the Joker met his violent end. It felt like he kind of had to go because he was ever so much losing it little by little, and now that he's out of the way, they've got one less crazy guy to worry about. But what a great episode, especially the final 5-10 minutes of this episode where you had men shooting at each other, you had them shooting at the creature. Good call to Fitzjames for using those rockets on the monster. I mean, granted, he's wounded now, and there's nothing more dangerous than a wounded animal, but that won't stop him from coming back. So very exciting. We only have two episodes left of this show. We have next week and the week after, and I feel like these next two are really going to be something. Well, guys, what did you think of tonight's episode? Did you like it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Were you expecting Hickey to be hung? Were you expecting Toonbach to appear again? Leave your thoughts, opinions, and your feedback down below in the comments section. I'd love to hear from everybody. You guys have been doing so good with that lately. Thank you so much for being so engaging with me on this show. I love talking to you guys about it. Have a great rest of the night. Don't forget that The Terror airs its final 2 episodes next Monday and the Monday after that, both on AMC. Have a great night, guys. Thank you for watching. And of course, until next time, may the Force be with you.